Welcome to the Ingress Insights podcast, hosted by PkmnTrainerJ. Ingress Insights is a podcast about the Niantic game Ingress. Listen each week for the latest news, updates and rumours. Let us know your thoughts by leaving a voice message or emailing us at the links in the show notes.
Additional intel available.
Hello agents and welcome to episode 95 of the Ingress Insights podcast. In this week's episode we're looking at the plus Theta global op, which is wrapping up, and also looking at the skirmish locations that have been announced for the AMER regions, as well as the rest of the badges for plus Theta. We've also had an app update to Ingress and possibly the name of the new Wayfarer system for Ingress being revealed in a weird kind of way. So we'll get into that. Before I start the episode properly, I'll let you know that I'll probably be taking next weekend off. So there'll be an episode I've already recorded that will go out. I won't have any Ingress news on, but there'll still be an episode that comes out on Sunday as usual. Now that I've clarified that, I'm going to move into the plus Theta news, where I'll also go through my progress on the global op as I'm recording this on the 9th of May.
This is Jessica Jung, lead producer of Peridot, and you're listening to Ingress Insights.
Starting the plus Theta news off, as I said, with my own progress. So currently I'm on 5,180 plus Theta points. For anyone that's been paying attention, that means I've got a silver medal because I'm 4,000, but not quite a gold because I'm not quite on 6,000. I've completed the campaign 4 times, as you can do that. So there's no further points that I can actually get from the plus Theta global op. I've basically completed it now for me. However, you can still get points from the daily tasks. You get, I believe it's 60 in total, because you get 10 per the 4 tasks you get on there, and then additional 10 for completing 2 tasks, additional 10 for completing 4 tasks. So you can get 60 points on there a day. So I should still be okay to get the points on there. I've not yet, and I don't think I'm planning to purchase the battle pass for it, the premium ticket. With not going to any of the events, the highest I could probably get on there is the 5,500 plus Theta tokens, and the premium for that is 100 level 8 resonators, which isn't amazing. There's no way that I'd ever get to the 14,400 without attending an event, and then it's some Aegis shields that are on there. So again, I've been hacking a lot of Aegis shields recently, I've noticed, so they're not that rare for me at the moment. I think I've hacked about 10 in the last couple of days. So no urgency there for me, and no real want to get the extra pass there. But some agents may have got it. I don't think it's that great this time round. I think it's good they're trialing one, but it needs to be better next time. There's loads of feedback that they can see on the forums. Sorry, on the subreddit. We don't have the forums. But loads of feedback on the subreddit and other groups that they'd be able to pick up on there for next time for the Q3 anomaly. So I assume we'll have a battle pass for that as well. Just a reminder on the global op, it does end at 11:59 p.m. local time on the 11th of May when this podcast is released. So hopefully you're not listening to it too late and you're able to get everything that you need to on there. And as mentioned, you can do it up to 4 times. You just need to click restart and then it'll increase slightly in difficulty on what more you need to do. So you need to recharge more, capture more portals, deploy more resonators. Also, as a reminder, it was clarified that upgrading your own resonators now counts. You could fully deploy a level 1, all level 1 resonators to get your thing for deploying resonators, and then so you upgrade them all to get more points that way. One thing some agents were struggling with in this plus Theta global lot was placing beacons, because there's some free ones you get in the store. I think there's the Violux and the Black Lives Matter beacons that some agents still hadn't picked up. However, you can craft peace beacons in your kinetic capsules, so they just take a low amount of resonators to be able to do that. So you should be able to do that, get 3 beacons, and easily progress that. Run a few at the same time if you've got more than one kinetic capsule available. Then it shouldn't take you too long. You don't need to spend anything in the store to be able to do that. I'm still not sure how agents who couldn't scan progress with it. I assume they've just left those tasks and not claimed them. Then additionally, we've got one of obtaining portal keys through hacking. So you can use the more command just to get more stuff. And you could also use the speed command, which I believe only gives you portal keys. If you are trying to get this done in the last few hours, then doing those little bits really helps out. So next, I'm going to move in and talk about the skirmish locations that have been revealed for the AMER regions, and those are happening on the 31st of May at the end of this month. On the 8th of May, the Ingress team announced where the skirmishes would be in the AMER regions for the Plus Theta Anomaly series. So I'll go through those. Those are all happening on May the 31st, 2025. They are all shard skirmishes. There's no beacon skirmishes in this one. So first of all, we've got Brasilia in Brazil, Santa Cruz in Bolivia, Edmonton, Alberta, Canada, Concepcion in Chile, Medellin in Colombia, Guatemala City in Guatemala, Mexico City in Mexico, Chiclayo in Peru, Arequipa in Peru, Tempe in Arizona in the US, Gainesville in Florida in the USA, Minneapolis in Minnesota, USA, and Spokane in Washington, USA. I hope I got all those correct for the US regions. As I said, they're all happening on the 31st of May, so we'll cover that in a bit more detail of what a skirmish is as we get closer to that date. But it's basically like a mini anomaly. So you go there, fight for your faction as you would do an anomaly, just on a slightly smaller scale and a slightly smaller time frame. For the anomalies as well, the sites for Perth and Chemnitz are lit up on the map. So you can see the play boxes for those anomalies that are happening on the 14th of June. So plenty of notice there to see what's happening and well portals you should be aiming to get and where your play area is. And then finally for Plus Data News, the Ingress team have updated their blog now so you can see all the badges that are coming that you can purchase from the Ingress in-game store. They all cost 30,800 CMU and I assume all come with the normal stuff of fracas and kinetic capsules. The next badges that we're going live on the 16th of May, 11 a.m. UTC to the 2nd of June, 11 a.m. UTC, will be the ADA 2025 Resistance badge and the ADA 2025 Neutral badge, which is the kind of pink and yellow two-faced badges that we've seen. Apparently, that's the neutral color for Ingress, as well as the ADA 2017 badge, which is a previous badge on there. The other badges that will be coming up are the Theta Supporter badge, which is similar to the other ones. It's in green and blue, so you get a nice mix on there. And the Plus Data Core Supporter badge, which is very similar, but the lines on that are kind of intertwined instead, and it's exclusive to core subscribers. And then finally, Roland Jarvis gets his badges on the 13th of June to the 30th of June. And you'll see there a green one is again a two-faced kind of badge for Enlightened for Roland Jarvis 2025, and the same images in the kind of pinky purple and the yellow for a neutral, and then the Roland Jarvis 2018 badge from the archives. All the other badges do go back on the store from the 16th of June to the 30th of June, the ones that end on the 2nd of June, and the Ben Jacklin badge, which already ended on the 5th of May. So they come back to the store on the 16th of June till the 30th of June. So if you do miss out on them, you can still pick them up. And then similarly, the Plus Data Rewards Premium, the kind of Battle Pass Premium, that's still available until the 1st of July, 11:59 p.m. UTC. So if you decide last minute you still want that, you'll still be able to pick it up. That's about it that I've got for Plus Data news. So I'll move into some general Ingress news now.
What's up? This is Smooth Guy O, and you listen to the Ingress Insight podcast.
On the 8th of May, we got an update to the Ingress Prime app. So we're now on version 2.166.1. It was a bit of a sparse update, but it did sort out a few things. So initially, it's their first Ingress release under Niantic Spatial Ink. So if you check your App Store and Play Store, it will now show the developer as Niantic Spatial Ink. And they mentioned they also fixed sending push notifications. It did also fix an issue where deep links weren't working on iOS. So if you had links to portals and things like that, tap on to then open in Ingress, that wasn't working for whatever reason. It is now working, so that's nice. For this update, however, agents were experiencing some issues. So there were issues where the app was saying circuit overload when agents try and do hacks and trying to just play the game. The Ingress team did post on their Telegram to say they were actively investigating reports of action failures and circuit overload errors. We appreciate your patience and apologize for any inconvenience. And that was at about 4 p.m. my time. And then it was fixed the next day about 1:30 a.m. my time. where they said, agents, the NIA has resolved the said issues. Thank you for your patience. If you encounter any new issues, please file a support ticket. I want to cover that first because there's been updates to the support system on Ingress. So that's now moved over to Niantic Spatial Support, as I mentioned in the last episode. I raised an issue in the app and I got a response that now the response time is expected to be 14 business days. So I think that's a bit crap, really, if you're getting some serious issues that you're not going to get a response before all of that time. Agents have mentioned as well that at the moment you don't seem to be able to open a chat from the desktop support on Ingress. So if you go to ingress.com/support, I think, you can see all the usual things that you see in the help chat on the app, but you can't actually start a chat there. There used to be a little purple box that popped up in the bottom right where you can start a chat, send your issue off and get it sorted. But that now seems to have gone, unfortunately. So I guess it's wait 14 days if you can access the app. Sorry, 14 business days. So that'd be even longer. Previously, I know response times were generally about 48 hours. So that seems to have really, really dropped. I've raised the query, as I said. So I'll let you know if I get a response, what the kind of average response time I get from there is. I've also got one going with the Peridot team to see how long they similarly take to respond, because I assume it's the same teams covering both there for Niantic Spatial. But I'll update when I get a response from that and see what they actually do. Before I get into some Wayfarer related news, I'm going to play an ad that I've made for my sponsor for this episode, which is XP Brew. Hey agents, for today's episode we have a sponsor that I want to talk about. I'm going to tell you about a fancy new tea I've tried called XP Brew. XP Brew is clean energy tea intended for long gaming sessions, so whether you're going out and getting your plus data bounties done or just chilling on the sofa with your Switch or PlayStation, this tea gives you a nice good energy kick without the crash of energy drinks. All you need to do is boil your kettle, put the tea powder in your favourite mug with the boiling water and give it a stir. I do want to highlight one flavour this week, which is my favourite one, which is dark choc cherry, and that you can either get by itself or in the Mano Mix pack, which gives you 2 separate packs of each flavour if you want to try them all out. What I say next about the flavour might sound really negative, but is a positive. So for me, I think it smells and tastes like hot Dr. Pepper, which is quite delicious, strangely. You can see all the ingredients for it on the website, which I'll link to in the show notes. You can see there's nothing nefarious in there. It's just clean energy stuff, vitamins, all the good stuff. So do check it out at XP Brew and see the other flavors they've got available as well, like the spicy passion one, which is quite nice too. And then let me know what you think if you do try it. I'd be interested to hear. Thanks again to XP Brew for the sponsorship. On the 6th of May, Niantic Tintino posted up a post on the Wayfarer forums called Navigating the Niantic Scopely and Niantic Spatial Transition FAQ. He said, "Hello Explorers, as most of you know, Niantic Labs is being acquired by Scopely and spinning off its geospatial AI business into a new company, Niantic Spatial Inc. Scopely acquired Niantic's game business, including Pokemon Go, Pikmin Blue, Monster Hunter Now, and Wayfarer, and Campfire as well, but I don't think they mentioned that. Niantic Spatial has acquired Ingress and Peridot. This FAQ will address some of the frequently asked questions we've been seeing in the Wayfarer community regarding the transition. Though we do not have a concrete answer to some of the questions asked, we think it's important to be as transparent as possible as what to expect in the near future. So, question, when is this transaction actually taking place? Because a transition like this involves multiple factors, some outside our control, such as regulatory review, we don't have an exact date for the transition. That being said, we want to reassure you it will be taking place very soon. Our teams are working tirelessly to ensure the process is completed promptly. We are fully dedicated to making this a smooth and seamless transition with minimal disruptions. Question, what does this mean for me? If you have access to Wayfarer now through your Ingress account, you will continue to have access to Wayfarer and the forum. Even if your game account in Pokemon Go is not Wayfarer eligible, you will be able to continue to review and see your previous contributions. Question, what does this transition mean for Wayfarer and the maps for Pokemon Go and Ingress? The Pokemon Go map will continue to be synced with Wayfarer post the transition. The Ingress map will stop syncing with Wayfarer once the transition is complete. Niantic Spatial is building its own system for Ingress. More information will be available on the official Ingress website at a later date. Question, if I do not play Pokemon Go, will my reviews count? If you have access to Wayfarer now, your future reviews will count even if you do not have a Wayfarer eligible Pokemon Go account. Contributions that are approved in Wayfarer after the split will only be available in Niantic Scopely games. Question: will Wayfarer nomination review, acceptance, or takedown criteria change after the transition? What about the forum? There are no immediate plans to change the criteria as a result of the transition. Also, there are no plans to make any changes to the forum for the foreseeable future. Question: will the submissions appeal process change at all? No, submissions appeal process will remain unchanged. This next one is one that I'd kind of pondered on before. So, will enforcement of abuse remain the same in Niantic Spatial and Scopely products? How about banned users? Will they remain banned across Niantic Spatial and Scopely products? Yes, enforcement of abuse will remain intact across Niantic Spatial and Scopely products. Permanently banned users will stay banned across all relevant products. This includes Wayfarer and Wayfarer suspensions that resulted in product suspensions. So if you got banned in Wayfarer and then got banned in Ingress because of what you did in Wayfarer, sounds like you'll still be banned in Ingress even though Wayfarer won't be connected to it anymore. Question: as the database for Pokemon Go and Ingress gets separated, would users need to nominate wayspots on both the Niantic Spatial side and the Niantic Scopely side? If the user wants their submission to be considered for both Pokemon Go and Ingress, they will need to submit nominations separately through both Wayfarer and Niantic Spatial/Ingress. If the user only wants their submission considered for Niantic Scopely games, they only need to nominate wayspots on Niantic Scopely side, currently via Pokemon Go. If the user wants their submission to be considered only for Ingress, they only need to submit it for Niantic Spatial via Ingress. Question: what happens to Ingress players after the transition? Ingress accounts will retain their ability to perform reviews and view their past contributions on Wayfarer after the transition. Ingress players who currently have a Wayfarer account will continue to have full access to Wayfarer and the forum. Question: what is the cutoff date in which the Ingress map will not sync with Wayfarer anymore? Which is an important thing to do. The exact cutoff date for Ingress map syncing has not been determined yet. We encourage all Ingress users to release their nomination currently on hold to ensure they have enough time to be resolved and synced to the map before the transition. We will share more details as soon as they're available. Please stay tuned to the forum for updates. Question: if I play both Ingress and Pokemon Go and choose to delete my Pokemon Go account after the transition, will I lose access to Wayfarer? I know that's something some Ingress players are considering if they have a Pokemon Go account. It's important because there are several situations that will apply differently to many in our community. Wayfarer accounts linked to Pokemon Go only, Ingress only Wayfarer accounts, and those linked to both Pokemon Go and Ingress. So post transition, if you have a Pokemon Go only Wayfarer account, if you choose to delete your Pokemon Go account and your Wayfarer account is linked to that Pokemon Go account only, your Wayfarer account will also be deleted as a result. If your Wayfarer account is connected to both Pokemon Go and Ingress, if you choose to delete your Pokemon Go account and your Wayfarer access is linked to both a Pokemon Go and Ingress account, your Wayfarer account will also be deleted as a result. Ingress only Wayfarer account, if you have only an Ingress account, if you have both an Ingress and a Pokemon Go account and your Wayfarer account is only associated with the Ingress account, not linked to a Pokemon Go account, and you choose to delete your Pokemon Go account, your Wayfarer account will remain intact. Hopefully that makes it a bit clearer. Question: will anything happen to my Wayfarer forum access if I delete my game account? If your Wayfarer account is deleted as a result of your game deletion request, your forum access will also be revoked. Question: what will happen to the Wayfarer related badges I have in Ingress, like Recon? All Wayfarer related badges will persist in your Ingress accounts. Question: will the remote submission distance be changed or increased for Pokemon Go from 10 kilometers to 25 kilometers, which currently is in Ingress? There are no current plans to change the distance of submissions. However, we're always listening to our community and continuously evaluating ways to improve the gameplay experience. Our dedicated team is committed to ensuring that Pokemon Go and Wayfarer remain engaging and enjoyable for all players. Question: will the Wayfarer team still have direct input into the forum to answer questions? Absolutely, the Wayfarer team remains fully engaged with the forum. They are committed to staying informed about all questions, feedback, and activities from the community. Their ongoing involvement ensures they continuously use the forum as a valuable tool to gather insights and improve the product. This dedication helps us maintain open lines of communication and support for our users, thereby fostering an active and collaborative Wayfarer community. Last question here, thanks for sticking with me as I go through all of these. Does the transition open up the possibility of Wayfarer and Wayfarer challenges in other Niantic Scopely games? We assess Wayfarer eligibility and access via all Niantic Scopely games based on community and business needs regularly. We are continually exploring opportunities to enhance the experiences across our games. We encourage you to stay tuned for updates as the transition progresses. I'll link to this forum thread in the show notes so you can read it there for yourself. But people have been asking a few additional questions. I guess there's a lot of stuff that's up in the air that can't be answered yet, though there may be some news regarding the map split that I'll get into now. Firstly, on this, it was reported on the Ingress Updates English Extra channel that agents are now seeing reporting invalid portal emails come from a new address, and the new address actually ends in recon.nianticspatial.com. Given that, and that we had Operation Portal Recon before, people are wondering whether the name for the new nomination system for Ingress is simply Recon. And then if you'd log in, like you log into Wayfarer now, you just go to recon.nianticspatial.com, which isn't working yet. You can't actually access it, but it seems like that's what the new system is going to be called. May change and maybe Operation Portal Recon, but for now, we've got that URL there that the invalid portal report emails are coming from. So people are speculating as to what that means. It was also noted by agents on the 9th of May that there doesn't seem to have been a sync for the past couple of days. So the Niantic Spatial UK channel mentioned, as Ingress released its first app update under the Niantic Spatial banner, some agents have mentioned that accepted wastelots have not yet synced as portals. Whilst we wouldn't expect the maps to have been split yet, and this may be a glitch, do be aware that any acceptors on Wayfarer will stop sync to Ingress at some point soon. So I've not had any recent acceptances for until I got everything through during the last challenge. So I've got a few little edits and things like that, maybe, I think. But agents have been saying that nothing's been syncing, like accepted things or anything like that. Hopefully we get an update soon as to what's going on and when things will start syncing again. I don't think the systems have split yet. I'd hope not, because I've been doing reviews and approving things that I know will go into Ingress. But just worth keeping an eye on any Wayfarer news coming up in the next few days. Hey agents, just as I was finishing recording and editing this, Niantic Teen Union did share a post about the Ingress map sync. He wrote, Ingress map sync cadence update. Hello explorers, as you may have noticed, Wayfarer map and the Ingress map have stopped syncing as of 2 days ago. This is intended as part of the ongoing transition work for both teams. I'd like to confirm that this does not mean your approved submission will no longer have the opportunity to sync with the Ingress map prior to the transition. While the map will no longer sync automatically per its usual schedule, there will now be manual periodic map syncs between Wayfarer and Ingress. Hopefully that makes things a bit clearer. So basically, don't panic, things will sync, but it'll have to be a manual process. It's no longer automatic at a certain time as it has been for a while now. But things should still sync, obviously, until the map split, as mentioned. But I want to squeeze that in before I wrap the episode up. That's all the news and everything I've got for this episode, agents. So I'll move on now and get things wrapped up for you.
Hey there, this is Jeff James, game designer from Marvel World of Heroes, and you're listening to Ingress Insights.
Thank you, agents, for listening to this episode. As I mentioned, I'm not around next week. I've just got general life stuff going on. So there will be a pre-recorded episode with no Ingress news in. It will just be about a feature or event or something else to do related with Ingress. When there is a new episode with Ingress-related news, then that will be covering the anomaly in Manila, Metro Manila, and the one in Providence, Rhode Island. Going over what the score is then, and also seeing what the score has been from the Plus Theta Global Op. If you've got any ideas for any special episodes you want to see, I do occasionally bonus episodes at the end of the month and episodes to cover when I'm not around for whatever reason. Please do let me know if there's certain things you want to know about. That's all from me for this week, agents. So hope you have a great Sunday and happy hacking. Thank you, agents, for listening to the latest episode of the Ingress Insights podcast. If you'd like to follow us on social media, you can do that on a few channels. So on Threads under the name ingress.insights, on Instagram under the name ingress.insights as well. Twitter/X, which posts episodes of the podcast, is under Ingress Insights, no dot in that one. And you can also watch these episodes on YouTube under Ingress Insights Podcast. You can send us a voice message by visiting the podcaster's Spotify page. And finally, you can buy Ingress Insights merch, such as mugs, pins, t-shirts, by going to epublic.com/user/ingress-insights. And on there, you'll see all the designs we've got listed at the moment. There are some new ones that will be coming up at some point soon, but you can buy your Ingress Insights mug, hats, t-shirts, tote bags, anything like that you want. Thank you again for listening. Hope you tune in next week. If you do like the show, please do rate it on the podcast service you're listening to. I look forward to speaking with you all about Ingress again.
Intel package transferred.